It was Mid-Autumn Festival. I'd cooked a whole feast, waiting for Ethan to come home. He walked in, didn't even glance at the table, and went straight to his suitcase. "I can't spend Mid-Autumn Festival with you this year," he said coldly. I didn't say anything, just silently picked at my crab. At midnight, like clockwork, Ethan's first love posted a picture on Instagram. She was beaming, piggybacking on Ethan, a full moon visible through the window. The caption read, "Raising a glass to the moon, paired with my beloved." Instead of my usual hysterical questioning, I simply liked the post. Ethan's phone call came immediately, his voice laced with panic. "Don't overthink it, okay? I'll definitely spend next Mid-Autumn Festival with you." I paused for a few seconds, then let out a soft laugh without replying. "Next time? Ethan, honey, there won't be a next time." Ethan came home a few days after the festival. I usually waited for him in the garden, but not this time. He texted, "Where are you?" I was eating lunch. "Home, having lunch," I typed back casually. Minutes later, Ethan walked in, suitcase dragging behind him. "I'm starving. Make me some noodles and a soft-boiled egg," he said while changing his shoes. Normally, I'd jump at the chance to cook for him. Now, I just said, "I'm done eating. Order takeout." Ethan shot me a look of annoyance, but managed to keep his voice down. "I know you're still mad about Mid-Autumn Festival, but can you please not make a big deal out of it? I'm really hungry." I turned and smiled faintly. "I'm not mad." He didn't believe me. Sarah was all alone in the city for the holiday. I just spent the day with her, you know, being a good host. I know," I replied evenly. Ethan stared, as if trying to see through me. Then, he looked down, suppressing his irritation. "What's the point of this? I'm tired. I don't want to fight. Can you just be reasonable?" I met his gaze. "I'm not fighting. Are you done? I need to do the dishes." Ethan watched me in silence for a moment, then pulled a necklace out of his pocket and handed it to me. He looked down at me, simply saying, "Here's your gift." The necklace wasn't wrapped, a stark contrast to the beautifully packaged gift Sarah had shown off on Instagram. I showed no excitement. "Thanks," I said politely, and nothing more. A flash of annoyance crossed Ethan's face. "That's it?" he snapped. "That's it," I confirmed. His face turned red. He held out his hand. "Where's mine?" I suddenly remembered. "Oh, sorry, I forgot," I said apologetically. "I'll just send you some money. Get yourself something." I grabbed my phone and sent him $20. Ethan's eyes widened, clearly surprised I'd forgotten. I'd always been big on gifts, making sure we exchanged presents for every holiday, even when he forgot. For years, I'd kept up the tradition, always finding something special for him. The air thickened with awkwardness. I went to the closet, changed my clothes, and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" Ethan called after me. "Out with my friends," I replied calmly, and closed the door, ignoring his shouts. After we started dating, I'd stopped going out with my friends because Ethan didn't like me partying. They all thought I was a killjoy, always assuming I was stuck at home because Ethan was so controlling. Now, finally, I could see them. Later, as we were leaving the bar, my friends complained, "We thought you ditched us for that guy. Don't do that again. Guys come and go, but friends are forever." I nodded enthusiastically. "From now on, I'm coming to everything, I promise." I'd focused all my energy on Ethan, letting my own social life wither. Now, it seemed like such a stupid choice. I glanced at my phone. Ethan had returned the money. I got home around 3 a.m. I flicked on the lights to find Ethan sitting on the couch. For a moment, I was disoriented, wondering if I was hallucinating. He saw me, drunk, and instead of helping me, just looked at me with disapproval. "Seriously, Olivia? Do you have any self-respect? A married woman out getting wasted like this? It's pathetic," he sneered. My head was spinning. His voice made it worse. I steadied myself against the wall and stumbled to the couch. Ethan wrinkled his nose at the smell of alcohol. "Didn't I tell you I don't like your friends? And you're out partying with them again? Sarah and I aren't what you think. We're just friends right now. You really don't need to get this drunk over her," he continued. I leaned my head on my hand, groaning. "You're imagining things. I just had a few drinks because I was having fun with my friends." Seeing my state, Ethan's voice rose. "Enough. I'm trying to give you an out, so what's your problem? Don't push me. My patience has limits. I'm not a saint. I can't keep putting up with this." My head throbbed, his voice making it worse. I rubbed my temples. "Are you finished? Because I'm going to bed." Ethan took a deep breath, composing himself, and stood up to help me. I dodged him, clinging to my last shred of sobriety. I stumbled into the guest room and locked the door, ignoring Ethan's knocking. I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, the best I'd had in ages. I woke up to find Ethan sitting silently in the living room, his face a thundercloud. I knew he was furious, but I didn't try to appease him. I just got ready and left. I went to the dance studio and handed in my resignation. I'd taken the job because it was close to home, making it easy to take care of Ethan. But there was no point anymore. My teacher tried to convince me to stay, but I was firm. Last week, I'd heard back about a dance company abroad. I'd gotten in. It had always been my dream, but I'd given it up for Ethan. Thankfully, it wasn't too late. After leaving the studio, I finished up some errands and called my friends to share the good news. They were thrilled for me. Then one asked hesitantly, "What about Ethan? Does he know you're leaving?" I chuckled. "Nope. He doesn't need to know. I'm going alone." When I got home, Ethan was just leaving, dressed in a suit and a forest green tie, looking sharp. He was carrying a birthday cake. It clicked. It was Sarah's birthday. He was on the phone, his voice cheerful. "Come on, don't try to guess. It wouldn't be a surprise if I told you. Just wait till I get there." He laughed, a genuine, happy laugh that showed off his dimples. A laugh I rarely saw anymore. He kept laughing until he saw me, then his smile vanished. Ethan would bend over backwards for Sarah, but he couldn't even spare me a smile. His face darkened. He didn't say a word, just looked at me with disgust and turned away. He quickly changed his shoes and slammed the door behind him. I knew what this meant. Another one of Ethan's silent treatments. They always revolved around Sarah. Before, I would panic, trying desperately to win him back, chasing him even when he ignored me. But this time, I just looked up some foreign recipes and started practicing. I needed to get used to cooking for myself. Later, lying in bed, I saw Sarah's Instagram post, "Another birthday, another gift from you. Thank you for always being there." The comments were filled with well wishes from Ethan's friends. "So sweet. Seeing Sarah happy makes me happy," one wrote. I scrolled through the likes. All of Ethan's friends had liked the post. They always looked down on me, thinking I was the wedge between Ethan and Sarah, convinced he'd be happier without me. Looking at the Instagram post, I realized they weren't wrong. Ethan had commented, "Happy birthday, my princess." I stared blankly at their sickeningly sweet exchange. One of Ethan's friends commented, "Don't post too much, man. Olivia might see it and flip out." Before, I gently asked Ethan to keep some distance from Sarah, to be mindful of appearances. His friends had called me jealous and controlling, saying I was suffocating him. Ethan had agreed, telling me I needed to be more open-minded. This time, I just closed the app, scrolled through TikTok, and fell asleep. Ethan woke me up when he got home. "Olivia," he yelled, "your boyfriend's out all night and you don't even bother to check in? My friends' girlfriends call them constantly. What's your deal?" I stared at him, confused. I'd done this before, and he'd said, "I'm in a relationship, not prison. Please give me some space. I can't breathe." Now I wasn't calling, and he was complaining. I couldn't figure out what he wanted, but I didn't bring up the past. I simply replied, "Why would I keep calling you when you're out with friends? You and Sarah are all friends, I have nothing to worry about." Ethan looked stunned, probably shocked I'd mentioned Sarah so calmly. Then, he seemed to understand. That post was just a friendly gesture, nothing more. "Don't overthink it," he explained. I shook my head, about to speak, but he cut me off. "Or do you think I shouldn't have gone to Sarah's birthday? We've known each other for 10 years. We dated briefly, but now we're just good friends. It was the right thing to do." I looked at him sympathetically. "I know. It's late. Go to bed." Ethan was silent. He stared at me, as if trying to confirm I wasn't angry. He didn't find the answer he was looking for. He reached for my waist, but I subtly moved away. "Which bedroom do you want?" I asked blandly. Surprise flickered in Ethan's eyes. I'd always craved his touch. He slammed the guest room door and went to the master bedroom. As soon as he left, I fell back asleep. Since I'd stopped caring, even sleeping had become easier. The next morning, the studio director called. He'd somehow heard about me going abroad. He wanted to have a farewell dinner, but I tried to decline. He insisted, eventually mentioning he was organizing a get-together for everyone at the studio. I couldn't really refuse after that. That evening, at the restaurant, Ethan was there. It made sense, he was the director's nephew. Sarah was with him, of course. Even at a casual gathering like this, he brought her along. Ethan saw me and gestured for me to sit with them, but I ignored him. They were a perfect couple. I wouldn't intrude. Sarah saw me and gave a smug smile. Then, she feigned innocence. "Sorry to crash a reunion," she said to me. I was bored, so Ethan brought me along. Ethan opened his mouth a few times, trying to explain, but nothing came out. I raised my glass politely. "It's fine. I don't mind." I took a sip. Throughout dinner, my phone buzzed constantly. I checked the messages. They were all from Ethan. "I just brought her along. Don't read into it. If you mind, I won't bring her next time." The last message read, "Let's go home together after this." I cleared my throat and typed back, "No thanks, you can give Sarah a ride." I drove. I put my phone away and focused on my food, ignoring any further messages. The dinner was lively, everyone reminiscing about old times. The director, a little tipsy, stood up and raised his glass to me. "You were the best dancer we had, Olivia. Your dream was always to go abroad and join a top company, but for some reason, you stayed. But now, finally, you're going. You're going to achieve your dream. I'm so happy for you." To Olivia, "May your journey be smooth and your future bright." I smiled, feeling a wave of emotion, and drained my glass. Ethan stared at me, his face frozen, as if he'd just heard the most unbelievable news.